Hi, everybody. Welcome to the YouTube conference, and thank you for your attendance this week. We have a special bonus feature I'd like to introduce to you. We received an artist submission, and I think it's really special, and it's a great way to bring some things to a close this week and help us enjoy some of the themes that have happened this week in a different way. I'd like to introduce Moises Szarf, and he would like to say a few words about his composition.
Oh, thank you, Scott. First of all, thank you so much for the space and the opportunity of showing my submission. First thing I want to do is to show proof of my YouTube fandom, that I'm a true YouTube fan. I have a collectible here that's, in my opinion, it's one of the best.
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
the YouTube iPad. That proves I'm a YouTube fan, okay? If you needed any more proof. Great. So, well, thank you, Scott. Probably just say that I've been a YouTube fan since 1987. I heard With or Without You and changed my life immediately. In a millisecond, I knew that I was hooked forever. It's incredible. It's like love at first sight, and nothing ever happened to me in my life like that beginning of With or Without You, and then Bono's voice coming in. So I guess then it's what, 33 years, and I'm here with you, right? But okay, let's just get to to the story of the song. The song is called Three Hearts. And I wrote it inspired and especially for the YouTube conference. Um, to make long story short here, because I don't want to take too much time from everyone, but um, I saw the Twitter feed of the YouTube conference requesting the artist submissions, and I knew that I wanted to send something. Needed to send a piece of music. At that point, I didn't have anything, special for it, but I did have one piece called Quartets, which is a spoken word piece of a poem that I wrote, that I recorded, and I sent that, and Scott replied saying, "Wow, I really like it, but it's not precisely the theme of the conference." So, but asking if I had something that would be more related to the conference. And, I didn't. So, I kept on my busy schedule, work, family, etc. But Scott's request kept on, ringing in my ear. Hey, do you have something for the conference? No, I don't. I don't have anything. But then what happened is that the 80th anniversary of John Lennon's birthday came, and I was consuming the content. I watched the BBC documentaries. If you haven't watched it, you have to listen. Sorry, it's radio programs, and I was John Lennon in YouTube, etc. And this Wilco, the band Wilco version of the song by John Lennon called God, came in. So listen to it, great. But then that trickled me to go and start learning how to play the song God. I'm a songwriter, so I just took time one day um, that I was on my own, and I learned how to play the song God, and really getting into it, and making like my own feel to the song. And as would happen to me, um, then after that, I went and listened to God Part Two. What else am I gonna do? So I was pretty much into those two songs. That day was the theme of the day, and then kind of like the inspiration struck. The inspiration struck in the sense and this is where the story gets a little personal, that and you know, I think the song is about the conference because it's about America and the situation that we are all going through right now in the country. And personally, in my family, you know, this political situation has affected my family. You know, luckily, not luckily, because we have worked on it. You know, all is good now. But without getting into details, you know, what I can say is that there were political fights in the family. Right? There were, you know, clashes, and it became pretty strong and actually worrisome at some point. And that you know, has been a theme for all these months in my family. So when I say that the, you know, the inspiration got to me, is that, you know, I got thinking about the YouTube conference and what my family has been through. You know, it scared me because I was now opening up to something so personal, right? Um, but you know, I let go of that, and the song was there. You know, the song about this confrontation, right? This duality that the country is going through, one side, the other side, and you know, if you vote for this, then you know, I hate you, and if you vote for that, then I hate you. And you know, so um, basically the song catalyzed all of that um, feeling and emotion. But at the same time, I was, because I had been listening to God and God Part Two. The way the whole idea came is that I'm going to write God Part Three. Okay, you know, talk about ambition. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, it just came like that. Um, so I started writing God Part Three. So just to say a little bit about that, um, I started writing the lyrics. You know, the inspiration came starting writing the lyrics. A bit of like kind of like the don't believe in, but not using don't believe, but using, you know, if this, then why that. You know, if this, then why that. Like you know, calling contradiction of on one side and the other side. You know, if you say this, then why that, and then looking at the other side. If you say this, then why that. But then, you know, it got you know, I needed to simplify it, and it came a lot more simpler than that, the words. And then what I try to do is, because when you see God Part Two, um, it's the lyrical theme is "Don't Believe in." You know, Bono is continuing that theme of "Don't Believe" from God, from John Lennon, but the structure of the song is really not the same at all. I mean, God Part Two is a straight rock and roll tune with like 1-4-5 structure, you know, 4-verse thing, and God from John Lennon is has a more complicated structure. So then what I was trying to do is to use kind of like the structure from John Lennon's song, where you have one part, then enter into all the don't believes, and then come out with the same part at the beginning. So there's actually a center on the song from John Lennon's, where, you know, it starts saying, um, um, God is a concept by which we measure our pain. And then it goes into all the don't beliefs, and then goes back into that same thing from the beginning. Okay. So I said, okay, I wanted to use that structure a little bit, but the lyrics, not use the don't believe, just get away from the lyrics. Like God Part Two, use the lyrical theme, but got away from the structure. Now I got away from the lyrics and I use the structure, something like that. You know, it wasn't that planned. You know, it's not like I planned it. No, like it came like that. So, you know, I wrote the song, and well, let me make this point about that concept because I think it's super important for the conference. That that phrase with which the song begins, God is a concept by which we measure our pain. So I was then thinking, wow, that's like a philosophical line and very, a religious philosophical. And then I wanted to do something similar, and this came to me in Hebrew. The word truth. Well, I thought is God, maybe God is truth, and what is truth? And then I thought that in Hebrew, the word truth, you say emet, okay? And you have the composition of the word is made out of the first letter of the alphabet, the last letter of the alphabet, and then the one right on the middle. This is a Kabbalistic concept that's pretty much known. You can look for it. So that word expresses what truth is. Truth is emet, made out of the first, the last, and the center of the alphabet. So truth is maybe a compromise. It's maybe, and if you look at the root of the word truth, it has to do with three truth. It's kind of like the same root. Okay. So, I put that there, and then, the song goes on. Okay. So, I wanted to explain that, but also, Scott, and maybe, that's the last thing I'm going to say before you play the song, is that the song is called Three Hearts. It's not called God Part 3, because I became so worried, well, the story, this is the surprise that I told you. I shared the song. I've been listening to many of the conferences,
The sessions. Yeah.
Sessions.
Sure. Yeah.
And I had the need to share with someone. So I chose Elena Navarro. I say, I'm going to share it with someone. And so I sent it to Elena Navarro. And, she was super kind. She listened to it. She said she really liked it. And she said, maybe change the title. And, that really struck me as being right, because I was worried about that title, God Part 3. Who am I to write God Part 3, So, and also the title of the song is Three Hearts. I think it makes it flow, If you hear God Part 3, you're like, what? Really, God Part 3? Let me see if it's good as good as God and God Part 2, So I think that changed the whole energy, my energy, right? And the whole energy of the song. And thanks to Elena for that. She said you should change the title. I asked, but what? It's something with threes. And then I said Three Hearts. So that's the title of the song. It's called Three Hearts. And I hope you enjoy it. And it's for all of us, for the YouTube conference.
Thank you. Well, let's give it a listen.
broken country. Two sides can't stop fighting. The right, the left, and the ones in the middle. Who knows what will happen to them? I came across a wise woman. She showed us the quest. She said 3 parts, you have 3 parts that are broken within and without. Can you feel your body? Can you feel your chest? It's only there you will find your own place. No escape from suffering, the pain of your own nothingness. Let it go, watch it fly. You're filled completely with your own pride and your 1,000 eyes you have.